Hey everybody, I'm 28 and I'm still playing video games. It's one of those habits that just hasn't gone away, and I don't see it going away anytime soon. You would think it's one of those things that would just fade away when you get older, whether it be high school, college, or getting into your career, but it hasn't for me. Why is that? Why didn't I age out of it? I think for me, it goes back to where it started. I feel like a lot of that is where it came from. For me, gaming started as soon as I could hold a remote. I was 2, 3, 4 years old, whatever it was. I don't know. I had an older brother who had an original Nintendo, a PlayStation, and go into the room when he was playing or sneak in when he wasn't around and try to figure out how to play, how to hold a remote, even just watch my dad play. And I just learned how to play whenever I could hold that remote. I didn't have all the new games, and especially early on, I played a lot of the same things over and over again. Mega Man 3 was a big one for me early on. My brother was the first one to bring gaming into my life. Gaming for me was where, after a long day of school and after school activities, sports, whatever I was in at the time, it was something that I could do to unwind and kind of turn my brain off for. Whether it was something to keep me entertained on the weekends or even playing a Game Boy or DS on the road, going to visit family. It was a way to help keep me occupied and active because I love doing stuff. I enjoyed playing with toys, going outside, reading books, but gaming was just one more thing for me to be active with. Kind of like TV shows and movies, it was something to do, but it wasn't, those were not interactive. Gaming is interactive. It was often an escape for me, like any kid, to break away from whatever goofy lesson or tough concept was bogging down my day. And as I got older, whatever stress was getting to me. And so it gave me a place to step away from that. I mean, my family, I love my family, I love my parents, but they were not the best at trying to teach me how to be a kid. So it was not easy early on with classmates and friends trying to be a normal child. So it was a bit awkward. And me being raised as an only child, because of how old my brother was compared to me, I was not the most confident person. Somewhere along the way, gaming became a place for me to go without really going anywhere. Just like any good book, movie, TV show, I was able to get into it. And that escape, it got me involved with friends who also played games. So, like, some of my favorite early memories was having friends over where we would play, co-op games, take turns on stuff, even trading games. I would have games that my friends would want to play, and they would have stuff I would want to play. And of course, back before the internet, that was how you tried new stuff. I mean, your parents may not have always been able to buy a new game, but if you wanted to try something, you had friends who could do that for you. Looking back on it, it's funny just thinking of all the games that I would sit and wait on for weeks on end as friends would play through them. But that was some early time for me. And I was a PlayStation kid. Had a PlayStation 1, PS2, eventually a PS3, but around the time I even got a PS3 was when internet became a thing for me. Having strong enough internet to really play online. It was great timing too, because I just got into some of the Modern Warfare, Black Ops game series, and multiplayer gaming was really, really picking up at that point. So, for whatever excuse I could come up with, I was like, hey, can we just get stronger internet? Because I've lived on DSL and dial up my whole life at this point. I wanted something to do. So I got into it, played multiplayer, played the zombies modes, and had a good time. But playing those games by myself without friends wasn't always the best thing. And so when I found out almost everybody I knew was now on Xbox or playing a different console, I was like, hey, let's move over there, and the rest is history. I've been on Xbox ever since. But looking back at it, part of the reason why games became a bit of an escape for me was early on, I played games to be mindless. I would play the same levels on repeat. I would throw in a Game Genie on the Nintendo and just hit reset on a game because I beat it so fast and it was just fun to goof around. I didn't care for stories. I didn't care to follow any kind of plot line. But as I got older and started playing more games, watching movies, reading better books, and even watching some fantastic TV shows that were made for kids back in the early 2000s, I started having my eyes open to the story, and it just became more interesting to me. I started following new plot points, characters, and being interested in more than just the story itself. So I think one of the big ones for me early on was watching Star Wars Episode 3 in theaters when it first came out, and seeing the Episode 3 video game and the original Battlefront 2 come out roughly around the same time, being able to play as different characters from that movie, seeing stuff that was not there in the first place, or stuff that was just side missions and extra things behind the scenes. I was like, oh, that's cool. And of course, the big twist at the end of Episode 3, the game, was being able to win as Anakin instead of Obi-Wan. Things like that. It kind of stuck with me, like, hey, maybe there's more to this than I realized. Of course, that means I started spending more and more time in games and playing a lot. I probably have an unhealthy amount of time into games, especially early on. There were games that I put active months of my life into, and some of it I regret, some of it I don't, because it was a lot of fun. But because of the amount of time and interest I had, I've collected a lot of stuff. I've got games in my library I've never touched. I've got games that I would play on repeat if I could and had the time for it, but I don't. So I'm playing what I can when I can. And part of that, for the purpose for me, is this channel is here as a way for me to create an outlet for that. Not only to play those games I've not played before and give myself a reason to do so, but it's also a way for me to go back and play some of the games that I loved and enjoyed growing up and relive those memories. That way it's saved in a place that I can go back and watch. So God forbid I lose a game or a console finally goes kaput on me and I can't play those games, I can go back and still enjoy and relive those memories. And so if that's something that you can relate to, great, come hang out. That's what I want this place to be. You can come see the ridiculous late night chaos of me and my friends playing games into the wee hours of the morning where we are delirious and tired. You can follow some of the playthroughs on, single player games where I go back and play old games, new games, whatever's trending at the time. Who cares? I'll play it because I want to. Just to kind of summarize everything, what this channel is going to do is act as a twofold thing. It gives people a way to come back and be part of a community, to watch videos and maybe relive on memories of games that they've played years ago, but also just watch some goofy, absolute delirious goofy stuff. With that being said, I plan to post as often as I can. I would love to live stream and have things go out there as quickly as I can, but with my schedule, it's not easy. I work a full-time job. I have side stuff outside of work. I have family responsibilities, things like that to keep up with, so it's not easy. But I'm trying to get more consistent with my overall process, recording, editing, uploading. I mean, the recording part's easy. The playing the games is easy. It's the editing and the uploading I'm really trying to get better at. So working on that process as it goes, but I will get better. I will have more uploads and I will, move on with it. I will have that stuff ready to go and start being more consistent. Thank you for, being here, for showing up. I appreciate it. To kind of summarize the whole thing, at the end of the day, I don't plan on changing who I am, and I just want to have some kind of passion project outlet to be able to put that. Gaming is not something I grew out of, but gaming has definitely grown up with me. So again, appreciate you watching. I will catch you guys all out there. See you later.